everyone, Sophia here from My Great Challenge. Welcome back to my channel and episode number 12 in my Mystery Quilt 2022. This is actually Pat Sloan's Mystery Quilt. It's called Sweet Dreams. If you are brand new, welcome. I do a video every week to show you how to do one of the blocks from Pat Sloan Sweet Dreams Mystery Quilt. And if you are new and don't know what this is about, Pat Sloan issues a new quilt every year, and every week she gives you instructions on how to make one block. This particular quilt is a twin size quilt. It has 18 blocks altogether, and today I am doing block number 12. This is what the quilt looks like right now. We're actually doing the blocks that are going all around that particular center medallion here, so I don't need to have it. It can hang for the rest of pretty much 14 other blocks. It's all free. Please go on the website. The link is down below. You can check out all of the other blocks and the layout if you want. Today I'm making number 12 called Add Some Fruit, and you can see that there's 2 blocks. It's actually the same block but with different colors, so I have to cut everything twice. I'm giving you simple instructions to follow, as clear as possible. I want you to learn to quilt and not be afraid of quilting. It is not that complicated, trust me. The hard part is not the piecing, the hard part is the actual quilting. So anybody can piece, if you ask me. Let's get started. As always, I'm changing glasses first. Oh, and by the way, you know this, right? If you didn't see the video that I previously posted, I re-cleaned everything so I can see clearer and move about more efficiently, I guess. I'm going to do 2 different colors. I'm going to do one in purple, and I'm going to do one in green. So let's get started, and you notice that I've cleaned out everything, and here are all my fabrics. So the background fabric is the same throughout. I'm gonna use this one for background, and the purple one, you need 2 colors. You need a dark purple and a medium purple. So I'm going through all of my colors here. We're gonna do dark purple. Okay, let's do the same one than before, which is the butterfly one. So we'll do that. So this will be one block, and the next block will be the same background. Let's pick this and this one. So that would be block number 2. So here goes. For the first one, you need 4 large square in the background, 2 small square in the background, 2 matching small square in a medium fabric, and you need 4 large square in the dark fabric and 4 small square in the dark fabric. And we repeat the same thing for the other color. We got 4 large in the background, 4 small in the background. We get 4 in the light fabric, and then in the dark fabric we have 4 large and 4 small. Actually, what I'm going to do is do them all at the same time, so that way I'll have 2 blocks done. Okay, we're going to start by doing half square triangles. That's easy, we've done them before. So you take a background fabric or a light fabric. If you chose a fabric that has a design on it, you can do that. And we're going to put the dark one at the bottom, right side up, and then this one right on top. We've done so many half square triangle. I know you guys know how to do it. You mark a line from corner to corner. Don't worry, this is washable marker. And then what you do, let me get something else here. Here, I'm going to point with that. But you're going to sew at 1/4 of an inch on either side of the line. And then you cut right on the line. And that's going to give you a new square that's going to have both colors, and that is called a half square triangle. And once it's done, we got to square it, and they have to be squared to 2.5 by 2.5. So since we have 4 of the dark green, when you cut them in half, that gives you 8 units. And I'm going to do the same thing with the purple. So again, you put this fabric right side to right side. In this case, it doesn't matter because my white is the same on both sides. You mark from corner to corner. And you're going to sew at 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I'm ready to start, and I'm using a 1/4 of an inch foot. So this part right here to here is actually 1/4 of an inch. So what you want to do is move your needle so that it is right on that slit right here. And again, we're doing 1/4 of an inch along this line and along this line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the left sides first, and then I'll do the right sides. Needle down, and off we go. And I'm doing what's called a chain, meaning that I'm just gonna lift my foot, place my next one. I'm not taking my needle up or cutting anything, I just keep going. So here's the chain, you see? We got 4 in the purple and 4 in the green. So now I'm flipping them over. We're gonna start with the green. And I'm doing exactly the same thing, but on the other side. If you look here, I have my mark from corner to corner, and this is 1/4 of an inch from the mark. So now I'm gonna do the same thing right here at 1/4 of an inch. And here we go, 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So now I gotta cut them. And cutting them is very easy. I just have to follow the blue line that I marked earlier. So I'm gonna separate them first and cut right here. So each one gives you 2 units. Here's unit 1 and unit 2. And they need to be pressed, but we're not doing that yet. So let me cut all of those. And once they're pressed, we need to square them, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is my last purple. And now we're doing the blues, or blue-green. And those are the units. So now I have 8 units in purple and 8 units in blue. And I need to press them, and because one of the fabric is much lighter than the other, they need to be pressed towards the dark side. So you place it this way, take your iron, and this flap right here, you press it towards the dark. So what happens when you do that is that it won't show through on the other side. Sometimes you're not able to do it, that's fine. I have to flatten every single one of them, and again we are going towards the dark side. So now all I have to do is square them to 2.5 by 2.5. Every one of the Omni grids you can use, you see how there's a diagonal there, but it's just too much contrast for me. I prefer to use this one that's called the Tucker trimmer. So what you have to do is find your 2.5, which is right here, all right, and you place it on top. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. All right, and you see where it says 2.5 and 2.5 here, there's a diagonal, so you're going to place that diagonal right on your diagonal, right here, and you take out everything that's outside of your plastic here, of your ruler. All right, and then you flip this way. You do the same thing, except that your 2.5 and 2.5 here, you're going to align right there. And if you did a good job, your 2.5 diagonal should be exactly on your diagonal, and you cut out anything that's outside of it. Oops. Let's remove this. All right, and that gives you a perfect 2.5 by 2.5 half square triangle. Let's do it again in the purple. Put it this way. Find your 2.5, put it on your diagonal, and sometimes you're just making it. Sometimes you have a lot of excess. It depends on how you cut your fabric, your stitching, tension of your machine. I'm aligning the 2.5 here and the diagonal, and removing all of the excess, anything that's outside of my ruler, and a perfect 2.5 by 2.5. I have 8 units to make like this. I'm back, and we are ready to assemble our block, but we're going to start, the whole block is divided into 4 parts. All right, so we're going to start with the top left corner, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for that, I'm using the green. We're going to place one light green. Let me move it a little bit more over here so you can see it. One light green. Below it, we're going to do it in columns. We're going to place one background and another background, like this. Next column, we have one background, one dark, like this, and one half square triangle, like this, with the white going down. Then we have the next column, and that one is one background, one half square triangle with the white going down. So you see it's making one large triangle, and then the one right here is a medium color. So we repeat that green. So that's the first quadrant. And in order to sew that together, they're all going to be different, by the way. All right, so we're going to do this one first. I'm going to do it in the green and the purple. And again, we're working column to column. So I'm going to separate those a little bit. I'm going to start with this one, then this one, then this one. So this one, easy. You place this one on top of the background and you stitch right here at 1/4 of an inch. And then you place this one on top this way and you stitch at 1/4 of an inch. Then they get pressed, and you do the same thing with this one. 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and then this one 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. Once they're pressed, this row goes on top of this row or this column, and this one goes on top of this one, and they are all at 1/4 of an inch. So that's the first one. Let me prep the purple one so you get an idea. The purple one is going to be one purple. You just follow the same design. And it's the exact same process, one column after the other, and then you join them. All right, let's go. The one thing I want to check is to make sure that these two here are aligned, and they seem to be pretty good. So here's one. I'm going to do the next one, and when I come back after I flatten them, they have to be trimmed to 6.5 by 6.5. So how do you trim those to 6.5 by 6.5? You have to find your 6.5, which is here and here, and then where they join right here is where you want to have your diagonal, and of course meet with the corners. Alright, so I'm right on the corner right here at 6.5. The diagonal is going straight through my seams and it stops here. And I'm just making it, you see I don't have to cut anything or barely any from there. So I'm going to cut that out and cut this out, however small that was. Flip it this way, and now I'm doing the 6.5 right here and there, and you see how it's meeting the corner here and the corner there, and then the diagonal is meeting here and there. That's good. So whatever I got extra I cut out, and quite frankly it's not a lot. It's just this much. That's it. So this one is a perfect 6.5 by 6.5. And here's the green one. And I'm going to do the same thing with the green one. I have two. Top left quadrant. Okay, the next one is the top right quadrant. So let's start with the purple. And for this one, we need a half square triangle going this way. we need a full dark square going this way and a half square triangle going this way. On this side, and this is not going to be a square by the way, on this side we need one medium followed by a half square triangle going this way, and at the bottom you just need a background. Okay, and that's it. This is not a square. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side with the green. This row first, then this one goes to this one, then this row, then this row, this one goes to this one. They all had a 1/4 of an inch seam. They get squared to 4.5 by 6.5. So in purple we have a top left quadrant and a top right quadrant, and same thing with the green. We have a top left quadrant and a top right quadrant. So let's do the bottom right unit that goes right here. And the bottom unit is actually a square. Let's start with the green. We put one green right here. That would be the bottom, and then we add a half square triangle this way on top, and then the next row is a dark going this way, and at the bottom, I'm sure you guessed it, is a half square triangle. And it's the same process. This one, then this one, and then this one to that. Actually, it was the bottom left we just made. So we have a top left, top right, bottom left, top right, and bottom left. We just have the bottom right to make, and very obviously this is going to be a rectangle. Final quadrant. Let's start with the green. So for this one we need a half square triangle going this way. Underneath it is a background like this. Here we have a dark. Underneath it is a background. And then for the last row here we have one background, and underneath there, right, and underneath right here we have a medium size, and we do them one column at a time, and then this row goes onto this one. They're all 1/4 of an inch seam. Let me show you what it looks like in purple. Purple will go this way, that way, this one right here, and 1, 2, and 3. When I come back, I'll be ready to assemble the entire block. So here goes. We have 4 quadrants. 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the one I just made. So how do you assemble them? This one to this one, like this, add a 1/4 of an inch seam, and then this one to this one right here, add a 1/4 of an inch seam, press them, and then this one goes to this one at a 1/4 of an inch seam. One thing you want to make sure, since they are all 2.5 by 2.5, you need to match your seams. So the best way to do it is just visually make sure that your seam do match, and then you can adjust as you're going. Pull a little bit here, pull a little bit there. Let's start right here. Okay, so here we go. Add some fruit. They are 10.5 by 10.5. And I didn't do too bad. If you want to look at my points, to be honest, the purple one is better than the blue. This one, I'm definitely going to lose the point here. It came out a little bit crooked, but that's alright. Sometimes you just have to compensate and sew at a smaller seam allowance, or you just lose your point. That's it. Hope you like these colors. I think they look great. It's going to look beautiful with this. Can't wait to make number 13. And that would be it. Let me say goodnight. Okay guys, so that's it. Number 12. I think they look great. It's an interesting pattern. Not that easy. I mean, you saw that it takes a long time. It took 3 hours. 3 hours to make those two. But then again, you know, I'm doing a tutorial at the same time. You could do all sorts of colors. You could do the background, instead of being white, you could do it in a matching color. What you could also do, let me show you on the blue, is that since those are 2.5 by 2.5, you could do a whole series like this of 2.5 by 2.5 and do like a railroad crossing type. And if you're interested in finding out what it would look like if you were taking this particular block and doing an entire quilt out of it, this is what it would look like. How about that? I think it's pretty cool. She does that for pretty much every single one of the blocks, by the way. She gives you a diagram of what it would look like if you were using just that one block. Sometimes to do a table runner, or to do a quilt, a full quilt. And if you want to try your own colors as part of the download that is free, just a reminder, she gives you a grid like this and you can do your own colors, and then you have to cut you know, your fabric with the color that you wanted. So I like these two. I don't know which one's my favorite. I'm gonna say the green, even though purple I love, but the green, I think those colors together are beautiful. I'm gonna put them to the side. We have 6 more doubles to make. All right, so 14 altogether. So we have 12 more different blocks to make. This is a sample quilt, S-A-M-P-L-E. For those of you who don't know, a sample quilt is basically every block is different and use different techniques as a sample, and they are my favorite type of quilt. Why? Because I get bored. I get bored doing the same block over and over again. So I enjoy sample quilt. I don't get bored. It's exciting every single time because it's a new one. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe right here in the corner. Check me out at My Great Challenge on Instagram and Facebook. My Etsy shop, Frenchie and Tubby, for vintage finds. I'm probably going to put stuff over the Easter weekend. I have a lot of new items to put on the shop. And of course, channel merch at My Great Challenge Gift on Etsy. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it relaxing and learned a thing or two about quilting. Relax. Trust me, you can do this. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, it's me, and guess what? Click that thumbs up if you really like this video. Thumbs down twice if you didn't. You can also share my video if you really liked it, or save it to watch later. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, but don't forget to click that bell button so you are always notified when I post a new video. Thank you for watching.